Welcome to this segment of Sound Magazine. I'm your host, Tammie Lee Demler. Joining me today, Deanna Bednarz, who is Caregiver Wellness Coordinator, and she is working with in a partnership with the Pride Center of Western New York and the Alzheimer's Association as well, with a grant for underserved populations that works through the Department of Health. So, Deanna, thank you so much for coming in today. I'm so anxious to talk about all the things we just spent a few minutes summarizing key messages for. So I'm going to have you start out talking a little bit about your organization, your partnership, and who is this underserved community?
Tammie, I just first of all want to thank you on behalf of myself and the Pride Center for having us on here today to talk about some important issues to us here. I work at the Pride Center of Western New York. So basically what we do there, our mission, is to make Western New York a safe, happy, and healthy place for people in the LGBTQ community to live, work, and raise families. And just for those of you who don't know what LGBTQ stands for, that's an umbrella term for people in the community, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer or questioning folks. And my program in particular helps with those. It's funded by the New York State Department of Health, and it is for people who are caregiving for those with dementia and Alzheimer's disease.
And so what's interesting about this topic is that we're not really even necessarily talking about somebody who is in that community right now. We're talking about the person who's caring for somebody who's in that community, and that can be very challenging on many fronts. I mean, we spent a number of minutes talking about all of the potential barriers, gaps, and deficits that can cause care to not be delivered in the way that it needs to be. And oftentimes it might be estrangement with families, and you guys offer support. I won't steal your thunder, Deanna, but I can go on and on. Talk to us about some of the things that you offer to be able to allow for that smooth delivery of care through families and caregivers that have relationships with people in this underserved community. Okay.
So basically we all know people who are caregiving for others, regardless if it's dementia or anything else, it's extremely taxing. We all have to balance our personal lives, raising children, maintaining our relationships, and our own health on our day-to-day lives. So it's very taxing. But when we start talking about people in the LGBTQ community and the importance of having caregivers, just to put this in perspective for you, over 80% of help that is provided to older adults in the United States comes from family member or friends. So when we drill down to specific challenges in the LGBTQ community, some primary factors are family issues. LGBTQ elders are half as likely than their heterosexual counterparts to have close family to lean on because they've been abandoned. Back in the day, it was considered a mental illness, and a lot of family members have, they're estranged from one another. We also have, because they don't have close family to lean on, they turn to the services of professional healthcare providers, so doctors, pharmacists, hospitals, or nursing homes, and they might be uncomfortable or even hostile towards LGBTQ folks, or they simply don't understand the needs of for example, a transgender person.
And we were talking, too, in the traditional maybe understanding or matrix of it all. It used to be, like an older family member might be having difficulty accepting perhaps, the understanding of homosexuality in a child or a younger adult in that family. But now it may be the younger adult in that family is looking at a parent who has recognized that this is who they are. And it might actually become more of a difficult challenge in the other way in terms of the age spectrum as the older adult is recognizing a difference of the path that they need to take. And so that represents the Alzheimer's scenario because people who are getting older are more likely potentially at higher risk of Alzheimer's. And that dementia can be in itself so challenging for caregivers. So I know you have some upcoming events. I don't want to miss out on talking about those very soon. This upcoming week, February 23rd, you have a class. So this is great timing for you to be here.
Yes, I do. I'm partnering up with the Alzheimer's Association, and we are doing a lunch and learn February 23rd from 1 to 3. And we're going to be going over just knowing the 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's and dementia and healthy living for the brain and body. Also, if you do not like classroom settings, if you have special needs, maybe you need help communicating with somebody who has dementia, please feel free to reach out to me. I can get you connected with the Alzheimer's Association. We can do a private class for you. We realize that every situation is different, and we're here to help you no matter what.
I like the idea of the private class or the private case consultation, because we were mentioning too, Deanna, that there can be, through the effort of trying to make that caregiver and care receiver relationship functional, that there may need to be some kind of, I don't want to say etiquette, but ways of describing or talking respectfully so that each person feels that that's a meaningful and respectful relationship, as well as kind of just a general understanding of bridging the gaps. People may not necessarily, maybe they may not really truly be able to understand, but they can come to a point where they can at least have a respectful, don't you think, respectful relationship to provide care?
Absolutely. I think with education, it's power. Mm-hmm. It shows that you care and you want to be respectful to a loved one. And we do offer cultural competency trainings. All this stuff is free. The classes that I do is free. The cultural competency that we do at the center is free, whether it be, open to the public, to businesses, to educations, we've done, cultural competency trainings with FBI, anything you could imagine that we're here for. But we could certainly arrange for a family member to be a little bit more cultural competent, and there's nothing wrong with it. The education and the content is excellent, and I highly recommend you reach out to me or the center, and we can certainly help you kind of get versed on the world of the LGBTQ community. I
think we all need cultural competency, and it's really, it's not just in this conversation, but it's so many different things. I just think it should be an expectation every year that everybody has to have a little something, I don't know, just to make us all a little bit more understanding and respectful. You had mentioned, I want to just go back to the class again, though, on the 23rd. Is it a specific time? Is it a location? Do people have to register in advance? I want to make sure that we get everybody there for you.
Well, yes. So it's on the Alzheimer's of Western New York calendar as well, because we're doing this together. I would highly suggest, if you want to come, let me know, because it's a lunch and learn. So I want to make sure I have enough food for everybody. Yes. Okay. That's the best part, right? And then we also just want to know for seating purposes and things like that. It is open. My program is open to everybody in the LGBTQ community and our allies. So we're not going to turn somebody who's heterosexual away. That would be slightly hypocritical. So we're here for everybody, and we'll get you the help that you need. Everybody's situation is different, and we'll kind of help hold your hand through the whole process.
What is the class? The basis of the class? Is it? do you have modules? How long is it? All day? What is the time?
Well, it's a PowerPoint presentation. It's 2 hours. It's from 1 to 3.
That's doable.
Yes, and it's great. It's the know the 10 warning signs. A large part of the education is specifically from people who are afflicted with the disease, hearing what they've gone through, the signs, the diagnosis process, how they keep track and remember things. And granted, it's a class. Hey, am I having age-related signs of cognitive impairment, or is this something I should really be worried about? And then we kind of do that in conjunction with a healthy living class. How do we keep our brains healthy and active? How should we be cognizant of our diets and exercise? Because exercising, I'm sure, as you know, has a large part of our brain function. As long as our heart is pounding and in good shape, it's going to pump the blood to our brains, and we're going to have a less chance of getting Alzheimer's disease.
I think that the tools to prevent are so empowering, because we often are just so fearful. I think, I can speak for myself. It's such a scary scenario to think that this is, kind of like an inevitable crisis for everybody to face as they get older. And if we know we can do things to prevent it, or have some power to at least change the course or lessen the chances, that is just such a great thing. So everybody can gain benefit out of that. So we have to remember, what day of the week is the 23rd? I can't remember.
It's a Friday.
Okay.
We find that the workshops are more well attended on a Friday. Everyone's in a better mood. I don't know. Come hungry.
TGIF.
Yes. And I just wanted to say something else
Sure.
too, Tammie. Not everybody who, you know this, but for some of the people who are listening, not everybody who gets older has dementia. Certainly your chances increase. But I just want to put your mind at ease that Congress is in a second year of record-making donations. So I believe they awarded 2017 $400 billion towards research to the National Institute of Health. And that's really what's going to help with treating this disease, because right now it's not curable.
I know.
You can't slow down the progression. And, the medicine that's FDA approved, it can relieve symptoms like an aspirin with a headache, but it cannot slow down or stop the disease. But there is some light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully now that research is being more geared towards Alzheimer's disease. Hopefully something will happen soon.
Yeah, well, let's keep our fingers crossed. I do believe that, in fact, that research is certainly critical in being able to help this become something we don't have to worry about anymore, hopefully, in the future.
Absolutely.
You mentioned as well to me that the Alzheimer's Association is doing some symposia in April.
Yes.
Do you want to mention that briefly so people can kind of put that on their calendar? Hopefully April's just around the corner.
Yes, absolutely. First and foremost, the Alzheimer's Association of Western New York is absolutely amazing. It's an amazing resource for anybody in the Western New York area who needs any help or guidance. They offer free care, private care consultations, and you just contact me or call the Alzheimer's Association. I wanted to mention that first. They help navigate through whatever unique situation you're going through, and they are amazing. So coming up in April, the Alzheimer's Association of Western New York, they're hosting their annual Dementia Symposium, which is amazing. It's at the Millennium Hotel in Cheektowaga. It's open to the public. Registration opens at the end of this month, so the end of January it opens. You can check out the website for more information at www.alts.org/Western New York. And they have in Western New York is WNY. They have a 24/7 helpline as well.
Okay.
And that number is 1-800-272-3900.
Okay. We're just almost out of time, and I hate to even say this, but I want to make sure we get it out there. I know that you have in your Pride Center older adult focused topics and workshops in the Silver Pride Project. We don't have time to talk about it, but recognize that because older people tend to be more isolated, that these are programs you're really putting a lot of energy into, and people need to know. If they want to find out anything more about those specific programs, Deanna, can they call you? Or?
Of course.
Okay, give us some information.
Call me. You can call me at the center, 716-852-7743, or visit the Pride website. It's www.pridecenterwny.org, and it's really for socialization for older LGBTQ folks.
Perfect. Out of time, but we'll have you back. Thank you so much for sharing all your energy, your enthusiasm, and truly your dedication to helping people who are in need. And thank you for tuning in to Sound Magazine. We'll see you next time. Take care. Be well.